What up, you guys? Slim here at Team Purple Panda. Back with another deck discussion. I really encourage people to go and watch the Six Samurai deck discussion that I did. I really analyzed samurais, from my perspective, seeing as though, I've played against them a number of times. I've played them 4 separate times. And, I really analyzed the deck and about why and what killed the hype of the deck. I really got into, like some good analysis of what, I think went wrong and why people, why bad players really ruin Six Samurai for people. So, check out that video, guys. But I'm here to do a deck discussion on Hopeless Dragon, Disaster Dragon, whatever the hell you want to call it. This deck has always had potential. Unfortunately, it's always been in the hands of a bad player or someone who didn't know what they were doing with the deck. For people who don't know, Disaster Dragon revolves around, what is it? Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, and Red Eyes Darkness Metal is this ridiculously strong monster. It's like 2,800 attack points, and it literally can just like summon dragons from your hand or graveyard, and I mean it's really good. You'd wonder, why would a card that good not work? It's not that the deck doesn't work, it's that the player that runs it doesn't run it that well. But I'm here to do a deck profile on, kind of a deck profile deck discussion on one that I received from Malt's Rage, so shout out to him for that. He also sent me like a link to his actual deck list. I'm literally going to run through it because, I mean, it's been a long time since I played against this deck. I actually played against a good version of the deck. So I'm just going to go over, what his deck runs. And, I mean, I'm sure the whole strategy is the same regardless. So let's just get into it. It runs 3 Red Eyes Darkness Metal. Like I said, that's your main monster in the deck. The way you summon it is you remove a face-up dragon. You special summon it. It gets the ability. You can special summon either from your hand or graveyard a dragon-type monster. Level doesn't matter, so you can easily summon Blue Eyes, Red Eyes, whatever dragon you want to summon. You also run 3 Red Eyes Wyvern, 1,800 attack. It's wind type. Also, you can remove it from play in your graveyard to special summon a Red Eyes that's in your graveyard, so it works really well with that. One of the key plays people do is they go Future Fusion, dump multiple Wyverns, multiple Red Eyes, remove them both, and in the end phase have 2 Red Eyes Darkness Metals on the field. Really, really good. It also runs Prime Material Dragon, which is like one of the key cards in the deck. Prime Material, of course, can prevent destruction, so like Mirror Force, Dark Hole, stuff like that. You just discard a card. So Prime Material is really good. You can lock your opponent down with that and Red Eyes and a handful of cards. This version runs 1 Light and Darkness Dragon, which really isn't that hard to summon. Everyone knows LADD. It shuts down everything, makes your opponent minus a lot. Really good card. It's easy to play around, but other than that, it can lock your opponent down. He also runs Yamada Dragon, which is really cool because Yamada Dragon can, if it deals damage, you get to like fill your hand again, so like that's really good. It runs Exploder Dragon. Exploder Dragon's really good. You don't take battle damage. Whatever destroys it dies with it. Runs the Cookie Mirror Dragu, which I actually did profile for Baby Dragon 48. This card, like I said, alone shuts down light and dark decks from special summoning, so it's really good. Plus, it's a 1900 beater. Easy to keep on the field with all the dragons you run, since dragons are all you run. Also runs 3 Mass Dragon, which is your tomato of the deck. Works really well to search out, like your Totem Dragon and, your Exploder Dragon, whatever it is. Also runs Delta Flyer, which has the ability to change the level of a monster. It's also a tuner, so, you can manipulate your Synchro Summonings depending on what's on the field. And the end of the monsters is 2 Totem Dragon, which is basically like a Treeborn Frog you can special summon like once. It's really good, though, if you're trying to swarm the field with dragons, and Red Eyes, takes care of that. So that's basically the monster lineup. That's how the deck runs. It runs on that engine of Red Eyes to summon the dragons. And, this deck wins because of its pure brute force. That's like the whole point of the deck. You're really explosive, and you really run over most of your opponent's cards. So that's why the deck... that's how the decks run. Why does the deck not do that well? Like I said, it depends on the player. And I mean, in this format, this deck's really not that hard to stop. So kind of hard to run a deck that's really kind of rogue and, really hasn't taken off before. It topped like 1 YCS ages ago by a miracle. But I mean, other than that, it's really not that good, this format. Like I said, it would take the right player to run it. But I mean, other than that, I don't really see a lot of hope for the deck yet, but maybe in the next ban list it will. For spells, it runs Future Fusion, obviously, to make 5-headed dragon. Book of Moon and Dark Hole are staples. This version runs Dragon Ravine because you can pitch a dragon to get a dragon to your hand, so thin your deck. Gold Sark, I guess, to get your key cards. Red's Lightning Vortex for destruction. MSTs are obvious. One Pot of Duality, I guess, to increase your chances of drawing what you need. That's it for the spells. For the traps, I got one Bottomless, one Burst Breath. Burst Breath is good because it can nuke cards on the field. Dragons only. Effect. Double Deprison, of course, while you run Deprison. Dust Tornado, like another MST. Mirror Force is obvious. Solemn is obvious. Warning is obvious. Torrential, one trap stun so things go off smoothly. And two Dark Bribe to negate other spells and traps. Like I said, the deck is okay. I honestly can't say it's good because Hopeless or Disaster, whatever the hell you want to call it, hasn't done much at all this last format. And I mean, it's not their fault. Like I said, it's the person who played the deck, and it's also the format we're in. Dragons just won't survive against decks that can just swarm so fast and can just overpower you with destruction effects. Gravekeeper's just descending away all your dragons, all your plays. Necro Valley locks you down from summoning stuff from the graveyard, so you have a really hard time playing against most of the meta decks. Six Samurai are fast, they lock down your spells, and that's kind of a problem. But I mean, there could be potential in the future. Hopefully there is. It just has to be played right. At the end of the day, this deck has to be played right by the right player, and you can't make sloppy moves or else you will lose. But that's all I got to say, you guys, about Disaster Dragon. Check it out. Leave me your feedback. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think the deck has potential? What's going to happen to it in September? I mean, nothing's going to get touched on it, but I mean, is anything going to happen? Will it have a chance to be good again? Or, is it just going to fall by the wayside? So just let me know what you guys think. Please continue to rate, comment, subscribe. Please check out my Six Samurai video, and thank you for watching.